Have you ever thought that a simple white powder sitting in your kitchen could change the way your body responds in intimate moments? Yeah, I'm talking about baking soda. It might sound unbelievable, but for many men over 60, something as ordinary as this ingredient has made a surprising difference in their energy, vitality, and especially their confidence when it comes to being with their partner. Hi there, I'm Dr. Claire Whitman, a urologist specializing in men's health, and I've spent over 20 years helping guys like you regain strength, vitality, and well-being here in Canada and beyond. I know what it feels like to look in the mirror and notice your body doesn't respond the way it used to. Feeling your energy dropping, erections not being as firm, or exhaustion becoming part of your daily routine. And I also know that often, even though it's silent, it creates frustration and worry. Today I want to tell you something really important. The solution isn't always in a bottle of pills. Sometimes the simplest remedy is right there in front of you, in your kitchen, ready to be used wisely. In this video, I'm going to show you 10 science-backed benefits that baking soda can offer men over 60. Each benefit comes with real examples from patients who, with small changes in their routine, have managed to regain their energy, improve circulation, and reactivate their intimate confidence. But before we dive in, let me give you the exact formula you've been asking about, because I know that's what matters most to you. Here's what you need. 1 glass of warm water, about 200 to 250 milliliters. A quarter teaspoon of baking soda, that's roughly 1 to 2 grams, and optionally, juice from a quarter of a lemon. Take this first thing in the morning on an empty stomach, at least 30 minutes before breakfast. Do this daily for 2 to 3 weeks, then take a week off before continuing if needed. Now, here's the critical part. Do not use baking soda if you have high blood pressure, kidney disease, or you're taking diuretic medications. Never exceed half a teaspoon per day. And please consult your doctor if you're on any medications, especially for heart conditions or diabetes. Safety first, always. All right, now let's get into the 10 benefits. Benefit 1, it balances pH and improves circulation. One of the most silent problems many men over 60 face is that their body becomes slightly more acidic over time. This change, though it seems small, can seriously affect blood circulation, especially in the vessels carrying blood to the penis. When vessels become rigid and narrow, the flow needed for a healthy erection decreases and vitality gradually fades away. Let me tell you about George, 68 years old, an active guy who'd recently retired here in Toronto. He came to my office feeling frustrated and sad. "Doc, I just don't feel like a man anymore," he told me. His tests didn't show major problems, but when I looked deeper, I discovered his internal pH was too acidic. It was like trying to water a garden with a nearly closed hose. The flow simply wasn't getting through. I suggested a simple change. Start the day with a glass of warm water, a bit of lemon, and a small amount of baking soda on an empty stomach. This routine acts as a natural alkalizer, helping blood vessels relax and improving circulation gradually. After 3 weeks, George came back with a smile I hadn't seen in years. "Doc, I feel like my body's waking up again," he confessed. What seemed like a tiny detail in his morning routine became a powerful first step in recovering blood flow, energy, and confidence. Benefit 2, more oxygen in erectile tissue. Another factor many men over 60 overlook is oxygen's role in erectile function. Good general circulation isn't enough. Oxygen must reach the tissues directly inside the penis so that arousal translates into firm, lasting erections. I want to share Richard's story. 71 years old, a retired firefighter from Vancouver who always took pride in his strength. During our consultation, he told me, "Doc, I feel like I'm running out of fuel down there. Everything's getting slower and dimmer." His case is typical. As we age, acidity and internal inflammation make it harder for hemoglobin to transport oxygen efficiently. Baking soda, besides balancing pH, helps optimize how hemoglobin releases oxygen to tissues. When blood is more alkaline, oxygen reaches blood vessels and erectile tissue more effectively. This means that during arousal, the muscles and vessels in the penis receive the oxygen they need to function properly. After starting a simple routine with water and baking soda on an empty stomach, Richard noticed surprising changes. His erections became firmer. This small habit doesn't just improve erectile function, but also contributes to more consistent daily vitality. The message is clear. Giving your body the oxygen it needs is just as important as maintaining good circulation. Benefit 3. Reduces silent inflammation. Chronic inflammation is one of the most silent enemies of men's health after 60. Often, you don't notice it, but day after day it affects blood vessels, decreases sensitivity, and makes erections difficult. Let me tell you about Don, 70 years old, a man who'd always been active and energetic in Calgary, but came to my office with constant fatigue and weakness. His tests showed elevated inflammatory markers like C-reactive protein. Silent inflammation was affecting his endothelium, the inner lining of blood vessels where nitric oxide is produced, which is fundamental for maintaining strong erections. Baking soda has an indirect but powerful effect on inflammation. Studies show it can stimulate anti-inflammatory pathways, helping the spleen and kidneys function better. With a small dose taken in the morning on an empty stomach, Dawn started noticing changes. Less tiredness during the day, more mental clarity, and most notably, more frequent and firmer morning erections. The most important thing about this benefit is that it reduces internal irritation that often goes unnoticed. It's not an instant remedy, but rather constant support that, with simple habits, helps your body regain its natural balance. Benefit 4. Supports nitric oxide production. Nitric oxide is an essential molecule for men's health. It's the spark that tells blood vessels to open and smooth muscles to relax, allowing blood to flow to the penis at the right moment. With age, its natural production decreases, and this can make your body not respond like before. Let me share Julian's case, 66 years old from Montreal, who still felt sexual desire but complained that his body gave no signal. Each intimate attempt generated frustration because erections didn't happen spontaneously like before. This is a frequent problem. The body has desire, but vessels and tissues don't respond. Baking soda doesn't contain nitric oxide, but it creates a favorable internal environment for your body to produce it more efficiently. By reducing blood acidity and protecting the endothelium, it helps natural mechanisms work better. This means when arousal arrives, vessels are more prepared and blood flow more effective. After starting a simple morning routine with water and baking soda, Julian started noticing the difference. Firmer, more spontaneous erections and greater confidence during intimate moments. The important thing is it's not magic, but supporting your body's natural processes with a safe, everyday habit. Benefit 5. Liver and kidney detoxification. One of the less obvious reasons men over 60 start feeling tired and less vital has to do with toxin accumulation in the body. Over the years, our system stores waste products, metabolic byproducts, and even hormones we no longer need. Two essential organs for purifying these substances are the liver and kidneys. And when their function slows down, energy, mental clarity, and sexual vitality can be affected. I'll tell you about Carl, 70 years old, a retired accountant from Ottawa, who felt toxic inside. His tests showed slightly elevated uric acid and signs of a sluggish liver. Despite maintaining relatively healthy habits, his body was accumulating waste affecting his overall well-being. Baking soda helps reduce acidic load on the kidneys and maintain a more balanced pH in urine, facilitating filtration and supporting liver function. With a small glass of water and baking soda on an empty stomach, Carl began noticing gradual changes. More energy in the mornings, a feeling of lightness, and greater mental clarity throughout the day. Benefit 6, and this is a big one that many of you have asked about: prostate health support. I know from your comments that prostate inflammation is your #1 concern, and I want to address this directly. Let me introduce you to Ray, 72 years old from Edmonton, who was struggling with prostate inflammation and difficulty urinating. Some nights he'd get up 4 or 5 times just to use the washroom. Now let me be clear, baking soda doesn't cure benign prostatic hyperplasia, but it can help reduce the inflammation that accompanies it. by lowering overall body acidity and reducing systemic inflammation. Baking soda creates an environment where prostate swelling may decrease. Ray noticed after several weeks that his nighttime bathroom visits reduced to maybe once or twice, and his urinary flow improved. This isn't a miracle cure, and you should always work with your urologist, but it's another tool in your toolkit for better prostate health. Benefit 7. Blood sugar control and abdominal fat reduction. After 60, many men notice weight around the abdomen seems to cling harder than before. This fat isn't just cosmetic. It produces an enzyme called aromatase that converts testosterone into estrogen, altering hormonal balance and affecting both energy and sexual desire. Let me share James's story. 67 years old, a former hockey coach from Winnipeg who came to my office worried. "Doc, this belly's ruining my vitality," he said. Though he stayed active, he noticed his strength and libido decreasing. Baking soda, by balancing internal pH, helps regulate blood sugar levels. This reduces glucose spikes that trigger intense cravings and abdominal fat accumulation. Plus, a more alkaline pH favors metabolic efficiency, allowing your body to use energy more effectively. Benefit 8. Improves testosterone sensitivity. Just because testosterone levels are within normal range doesn't mean your body's using it correctly. With age, years of inflammation and internal acidity can numb hormonal receptors, making available testosterone not produce expected effects in energy, motivation, or sexual performance. Meet Martin, 64 years old, a retired police officer from Halifax. "Doc, my tests say testosterone's fine, but I feel flat and unmotivated," he told me. His problem wasn't testosterone quantity, but that his body couldn't fully utilize it. Baking soda helps reduce internal acidity and inflammation, creating an optimal environment for hormonal receptors to function correctly. This means the testosterone already present can be used more efficiently, restoring energy, desire, and physical strength. Benefit 9. Increases cellular energy and smooth muscle. Many men over 60 never heard about smooth muscle cells inside the penis, but these are essential for maintaining firm, lasting erections. They don't just help blood enter the penis, but also retain it, allowing you to sustain an erection for the time needed for complete intimacy. Gerald, 68 years old, a retired mechanic from Saskatchewan, told me, "Doc, I can't maintain it like before. Everything shuts down halfway through. This problem is common. Mitochondria, the cell's power plants, function less efficiently with age, especially under chronic acidity or oxidative stress conditions. Baking soda, by reducing lactic acid buildup and alkalizing the internal environment, improves mitochondrial function. This means smooth muscle cells receive more energy to contract and relax properly, optimizing blood flow and retention in the penis. Benefit 10. Calms the nervous system. Sexual function doesn't depend only on circulation or hormones. The nervous system plays a fundamental role. As we age, the balance between sympathetic and parasympathetic systems can alter, generating tension, anxiety, and blocks during intimate moments, even when desire and physical capacity are present. Tom, 70 years old, a retired military officer from Nova Scotia, confessed to me, "Doc, I still love my wife, but every time we get close, I feel panic and my body freezes. This fear and stress weren't voluntary." His body was trapped in constant tension mode, preventing relaxation and pleasure from activating. Baking soda, by reducing systemic acidity and decreasing inflammation, favors the parasympathetic system, the one in charge of rest and relaxation, to take control. This allows your bodies to respond naturally to desire, facilitating firm erections and full enjoyment of intimacy. We've walked through 10 surprising benefits of baking soda, backed by science and accompanied by real examples from men who've managed to regain their energy, confidence, and vitality. From balancing internal pH to calming the nervous system and supporting prostate health, each step shows that even after 60, your body can respond and adapt. I want you to remember something really important. You're not broken. The changes you notice with age don't mean you've lost your strength or your capacity to enjoy intimate life. Sometimes we just need to support our body with simple natural habits, and with consistency, results can be surprising. Small gestures like a glass of water with baking soda on an empty stomach, walking a bit each day, or maintaining balanced nutrition don't just improve erectile function, but also reinforce daily energy, mental clarity, and overall sense of well-being. Now, I know some of you might be wondering about the science behind all this. The research on pH balance and vascular health is solid, and studies on bicarbonate's anti-inflammatory effects continue to emerge. If you want specific references, I've included links to peer-reviewed studies in the description below. And one more thing, I know some of you noticed this presentation uses technology to help communicate these ideas more effectively. The content is based on over 20 years of clinical experience in urology, review of current scientific literature, and real patient cases. For personalized consultations, always check with your doctor. If this video gave you hope, valuable information, or simply a push to take care of your health, I invite you to hit that like button and leave a comment. Write "works" if this resonated with you, or question, plus your specific doubt. And subscribe to the channel and hit that bell so you don't miss more natural science-based advice designed specifically for men over 60. Remember, your health matters, and it's never too late to start recovering your strength, passion, and connection. Take control of your well-being today, because even after 60, you can still live with energy, confidence, and fulfillment. Thanks for joining me. Stay strong, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next video.